Thank you, Professor Prem. We now move into our next session. I'm Poonam Singh, your host for the rest of the day. It is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Ajita Deshmukh, a passionate chemistry educator turned educational technologist and a strong advocate of open education. She currently serves as the program leader for e-learning at the School of Education and Research, MIT ADT University, Pune, where she has played a key role in developing innovative digital initiatives. Dr. Deshmukh is well known nationally through her NCERT and HRDC sessions, having conducted over 100 training courses for 15,000 plus participants on online pedagogy, OERs, and educational technology. Her award winning podcast, Chemistry, and her creative cybersecurity themed ebook, Once Upon an Online Time, reflect her unique ability to blend storytelling with digital learning. She has contributed to NCERT SNDT University, NPTEL SWAM, and serves as a mentor and hub coordinator for OER for Better World, a UNESCO affiliated initiative. Her research focuses on online education and the use of social media, particularly Facebook, in teaching and learning. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Rajita for her session on integrating LCM in flexible learning. Ma'am, over to you. Ma'am, you're on mute.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Poonam. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope it's clear. I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And thank you, Dr. Deepika, also for, like the first welcome in the message. Yeah.
Thank
So
you, ma'am. Nice to see you here. Really, I'm happy to here attending your session.
I'm
Thank you,
glad to see
ma'am.
you here too. So without taking much of the time in the pleasantries, let's get going. And I hope that I have the share.
Yes, Ajita, you can
No,
just stop sharing.
okay, you will have to stop sharing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yes. I made you a co-host and
Yeah,
welcome.
no problem. All right. So just a moment till I start sharing the screen. Yeah. And how many of you are wondering that what is this session all about? As we go ahead with, you know, integrating LCM in flexible learning. How many of you are wondering that, okay, now what is this? We did LCM throughout. Now what more? Now we know everything. Why do we need one more session? Anyone like that? So let's get going and let's start talking about integrating LCM in flexible learning. Um, I hope that it is all right for the participants to, raise questions. You can stop me anytime. But the most important thing is I would want you all to at least open a Google Doc or let us say a pen and paper or a notepad if you're going to be in the digital world only. I mean, if you are really into like paperless, like me, then yeah, please go ahead and use the notepad of your phone or something because I really want you all to, we'll be at a time when you'll start thinking about this. So this is my quote, which I loved when I think Divya asked us to create some quote for every session. And I was wondering, now, what do I even say? But then this is actually what it is. It sums to the only one and only thing that matters. Learning begins where the learner is. It doesn't matter what technology we are using. It doesn't matter whether you're using a chalkboard or you're using a Zoom or you're using some fancy tool. It doesn't matter. Whether the pedagogy is shifting from, let us say, tech enabled to active based, I mean, activity learning or to problem centered or to project centered or to, as it shifts, there would be lots of terms. But what remains central? Like this actually is inspired by Instagram and the quotes that come from Instagram, like, this changes, that changes, but the only constant is something, something. So, yeah, what is the only constant in education? The learner. So, where should the learning begin? The learning should begin where the learner is. Now, where is the learner? The learner could be on social media, and you can have your learning on social media. You can actually do the entire thing on social media. So, how does that even matter? Where are you teaching? If the learner is in the classroom, yes, it should be in the classroom. If the learner is online, learning should take place online. So it's as simple as that. But then why does it become difficult then? Well, that's what we are going to do in today's session, and that's what we are going to do. As you see, point number 2, 3, and 4, that is where we will be actually doing hands-on. So by the end of the session, you will have created a kind of a tool and a kind of, a design for your LCM integrated flexible learning course. So let's get going. That, like, why do we even need this session? I am very well known to, stop the screen share and I can talk to you directly. So even before we begin ahead, yes, I do have lovely slides, but if at all you feel that you don't want the slides and you want me to talk directly only to you without the slides, please let me know. We can do the session without the slides as well. Because like the quote says, technology may change, but learning is where the learner is. And in this case, you and I are learners. So if we want to go without slides, we'll go without slides, not an issue, right? So why is this session needed? What do you think? So your answers. Yeah, we did LCM in all these days, right? So why is this one more session now? Any idea? Am I going to talk all fluff? No, I'm going to make you work. So why do we need this session? Oh, just because Atlas Skill Tech has organized it and you want a certificate? No. Any answers in the chat? You may actually unmute yourself if you want
I think,
to
ma'am,
make
just
learning
to
available
integrate,
to
yeah,
larger audience. Okay, yeah.
my view is just to integrate whatever is done in just past 4 days. Somewhere we to simulate everything in one area. And you rightly mentioned that to the point where the learner is. We know along the 5 days we are our social media is 24/7 with us. So I think we should be able to try to integrate and find the actual hook where the learning has to be delivered and how to integrate all these skills what we learned in these 4 days. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for your perception. And anyone else would like to share something more? Because I read one comment and I heard one person. And yeah, so you know what? Uh, why are the women so quiet?
Ma'am,
Yes.
so in this like 5 days FTP, we have come across with so many different techniques to create online content, and how we need to uh, go with the uh, technology, and how this pedagogical shift is happening in
Mm.
education,
Mm.
and how we need to update ourselves to to this catch up with this trend,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
all these things we
Cool.
learn so far.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that. Anyone
Yeah,
else?
may I?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, so I think I'll put it into three buckets. Number one is, the way India is moving. We have 140 crore people, and
Mm.
we are moving from strength to strength, if that is the word that I could use. The challenge is we do not have infrastructure, especially in tier 2, tier 3 cities, in rural areas. Most of the infrastructure is condensed in the tier 1 cities. Now, most of the big universities, who are what we call as the custodian of resource, are in these large cities. Now, how do you reach out to the masses? How do you create a real impact? So that is one of the reason. So when you are going live, when you are going, through a medium of internet connectivity, so you reach out to a much larger audience and you create a real life impact. So that is one. Second is in terms of, the the timing, because there could be people who are into vocational activities. There could be people who want to come back and give themselves a second lease of life. They might be workers, they might be working in construction sites, they might be working in paddy lands. So they may not be available when the faculty is available. So how do you make yourself available to them when they actually want to upgrade themselves? So which is where the recording comes in, the recorded sessions comes in. And the third aspect is the infrastructural deficiency, because again, big cities have a challenge of limited infrastructure. Gone are the days when you could have large tracts of land. So even if a university, even if how big that is, you always have more demand. You have more applications coming in than what you can physically accommodate. And I know a lot of universities are running second shift and third shift. So there's always a challenge in terms of accommodating people. So if you are having something like a MOOCs, if you're having something which is even an online grading system and online, resource mobility system, and you have a town hall kind of a system where you can sometimes come in and address all the queries, concerns, questions. So that gives them a much bigger playground. So
Okay.
these three
Yeah.
things is what is going to drive the MOOCs. And thank you so much for bringing that to everybody's notice. And you guys are doing wonderful job, I must confess.
Yeah, thank you, Saptarshi ji. I thought you were going to steal my session because you are speaking what my next slide is actually all about. But here is a slight change that the points that you have brought up, right? Because not every student is going to be same. And it's not only about MOOCs, it is much more about it. Because today we have like multiple modes, I would say. And these are the formats. You have completely online se leke last, which is just a normal classroom, which is offline. In between, you have got hybrid, you have got blended, and you have also got mobile learning. Now, how do we accommodate all this if you're going to talk only about MOOCs? Not possible. So there has to be a flexibility because my student, my learner could be like, I don't want to be online. There is a lot of fatigue there. I don't want to be. I want a human being to talk to. That could be that category. There could be someone who's like always on the mobile and they say that, oh, I don't want to use I don't want to use a system. I don't want to use a desktop and a laptop. I'll do everything on the mobile. So there's there's the term that we at techies use. So, this particular generation that is there, we call them as mobile first generation. So our education and our pedagogy also has to be mobile first. So I was born in the internet first generation. The next generation is mobile first generation. So that's how the formats are. And this is where the learner is. And even before delivering a MOOC, we need to be aware of this. And not only this, but something that Saptarshi ji said, teaching is not equal to learning. Okay? Like, come on, you and I, we need to be very honest about this. And I can be very honest and say that, yes, I have attended classes in university where the teacher came and taught lovely. But did I learn? No, I did not. Whose fault? I don't know. Because I used to say कि बहुत अच्छा पढ़ाया लेकिन समझ में कुछ नहीं आया. It happens. And we need to be very, very aware of this. So teaching is not equal to learning. And I think someone earlier used the word delivery, and we are going to talk about that as well. But what happens when we are talking about flexibility is we are talking about flexibility in what Saptarshi said, time. But other than that, these are the four major aspects where flexibility is needed. That is pace. So time is one. Okay, MOOCs help us to address this. But the pace is also different. The third one, that's engagement. Well, I have a class, I'll tell you, my master's class now is, I don't know, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, whatever you want to call them. They're just out of their graduation and here. And our generation always expects that the students will say something, they will engage means kuch to karke dikhayenge. But the current generation is blank face. They will not say much, but they will do a lot of things. They will share once you prompt them, then they will share. So their engagement patterns are very different. And the programs that I teach, my MSc class is not homogeneous. I have a 40-year-old also as my student, and I have a 21-year-old also as my student. So the engagement pattern is going to be different. And it also depends upon the socioeconomic and the geographical strata from where you come from. Assessment. That is where flexibility is needed the most. I mean, since I was a student, I always have had this problem that why do I need to write exactly how my neighbor writes or my classmates write? I want to write something in a different way. So do we have, I might not even want to write. There are so many kids who say that, okay, and so many parents here in this particular session, they might agree to this, that their kids might often have said this, that oral pooch lo, we will answer everything oral very well, but don't ask us to write. Yeah, so the assessment patterns also need to change, and technology can help us to do that. And the most important thing, the last one, the flexible path. Now, what do we mean by flexible path? Okay, so I want to skip the first chapter. I know it's just introduction. So, let me just skip through it. Second one, I'll go with a little pace. Third one, I would start actually liking the subject now. And then let us suppose it's just, something like cybersecurity. I'm just taking a very general thing. So now I learned about that. And then suddenly in that module, somewhere I come to know that, oh, there is a cyber cell in police. Now, I don't want to do this entire thing about cybersecurity awareness, but now I'm more interested in the careers that that I would want to pick up in this particular domain. Can you offer me a path? The NEP talks about all this, right? But can you actually offer me a path? Now we would say that, oh, that's about NEP and all that. No, can we do it in the class? Is it only LXT that we are talking of, or is it something more? So this session is going to be all about flexibility and the ways in which you can arrange and redesign your teaching so that it can accommodate LCM. If this much is clear, I would like a thumbs up or some sign, some emoji so that we can go ahead. Is this part very clear that why this session? Okay, I can see in chat, but you can also use, yeah, thank you, Nisha ji. Yes, so you can also use the other things that are there. And yeah, so I can see many people with a thumbs up. So this is what I was saying, that flexibility without learner centricity is just delivery. Why? Because if you don't have the flexibility, it's just that you're delivering content exactly the way your Swiggy or Zomato parcel is delivered. It's just the same package. It's just the same way. We do not remember who the person who delivered our parcel is. If you don't have learner centricity, you could just be equated to that delivery personnel. I'm not saying that, I'm a very firm believer that koi kaam chota bada nahi hota. All that is fine. But what I'm talking about is that, is it something like that? You just come and you deliver the knowledge or you deliver the content and then you do whatever you want to do? No, it can't be like that. Even if it is a MOOC where the reach is very high, it cannot and it should not be like that. It should be something more. Otherwise, it's just going to be delivery, right? So what is that something more? And I'm going to share actual experience, and so that you don't think ki, oh, ye to sirf bolne ki baat hai. No, we're going to actually do it. Like, I'll show what I did and how I transformed it, and then you will do it parallelly. So the first and the foremost thing that we all always are bothered about is learner readiness. I'm going to stop sharing the screen because I actually want to talk to you about this. Every time we are talking about learning, we are talking about all strategies, all techniques, all technologies, all pedagogies. दुनिया भर की बात. But what we are not talking, one major thing is the learner readiness. Now, learner readiness, what do you mean by learner readiness and why is it so important? Now, just imagine this. We are going out for, let us say, for a picnic. पूरी तैयारी करके जाते हैं हम लोग. Like, we will be completely aware of, oh, okay, what do I need to pack? I'm also going to take the medicines that I might use. I'm also going to take the first aid box that I might use. So we are ready, right? Similarly, if there is an event, we are all ready. Even when you send your kid to, let us say, the, what is that called? Playgroup or nursery, that kid is crying. And then before you, like, when the admission is done, we all say that, oh, yes, now you're going to go to school, big school, this and that. What are we actually doing? We are preparing the learner. But then when it comes to college and I'm attending a class of physics, is my student ready to learn the physics that I'm teaching? Okay, by the way, I don't teach physics, I teach chemistry, but still, why has this come is because, my students used to score lovely marks in chemistry. They loved me, but they were very frank enough to tell me that they don't like the subject. And that actually made me to sit up and say that, okay, why? But then you need to have a rapport like that. But is the learner ready to learn what we are going to teach? Otherwise, it's going to be, we are teaching, and the students are like, okay, let the lecture get over. When is this going to get over? Okay, we'll just see when the exam time is there. No, that's not being learner ready, right? So what and how do we actually define learner ready or learner readiness? Just give a moment of thought by the time I'll again share my screen. And if your answer is ready, you can put it in the chat or you can unmute yourself. That what do you mean by learner readiness? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyone wants to think about what is learner readiness? Okay, I can see a message in the chat. Self-motivation. Okay, self-motivation is one aspect of being ready. We all come across this. Everyone cannot be motivated every single day. I and Deepika have been together for a while. I and Sarika have been together for a while. I and Divya have been together for a while. And when we feel low, like I'm not feeling motivated, then my friends are going to motivate me. And we all have experienced this in our own college days as well. कि आज तो पढ़ने का बिल्कुल मन नहीं है. Then someone will say, नहीं, 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 come. Afterwards, we'll have a chai or afterwards we'll do something. We cannot expect everyone to be 100% motivated every day. So that's just one aspect. But then what is more? Oh my God, there are so many messages there. Okay. Looking forward to this session and contribute in the class. Willingness. Everyone is talking about motivation, willingness. What is new in the session? Curiosity. Basic knowledge. Yes. Basic knowledge is one. Motivation, understanding the relevance, purpose. Okay, so now just see what is happening. Now we are talking. Now we are talking that there are different types of things that come under readiness. One is the affective thing, right? Like, I'm in a good mood, I'm in a bad mood. Just one of my colleagues was saying, yeah, Friday, it is like a weekend, aara hai, kind of. So that's the motivation. That's your affective domain. People now have started talking about prior knowledge and so we are talking about cognitive skills. Let me just check, there are two more messages. Understanding, purpose, prior knowledge, these are all cognitive, right? Sense of belonging, purpose of learning. Oh yes, so we have marked 2 out of the 5 aspects of readiness. And if there is something enhancing, purpose of learning. So we have something like dimensions of learner readiness, which may be many, but for us, for practical purposes, we'll talk about the 5 of them. So the first one is prior knowledge, that if I have a prior background, I will be ready to learn what is going to come next. That is the purpose. That's my prior knowledge. That's how ready cognitively I am. How ready with the basic knowledge I am. And I think it was Saptarshiji who was talking about not everyone has got a mobile, not everyone has got the tech. So yes, the tech access, not everyone would have, right? मूक है लेकिन कहाँ है? सबके पास है internet. Okay, even if the internet is there, do I know how to access? Do I know how to go through the platform? So my tech skills and skills are also going to be one dimension that makes me ready. And this we can see very easily if I were to give an example. Okay, if I were to give an example, I'm saying the senior citizens and the super senior citizens, they can use WhatsApp very easily because they're skilled for that. It's a very low investment, low emotional, low learning. Uska learning, the slope of learning is very, very mild. So it's very easy to learn. But you ask them something more and they will be like, no, I can watch YouTube, give me WhatsApp, that's all. I don't want to do much more, right? Email and all, I don't want to see. So many of them do that, right? So it's not about only the tech access, but it's also about the skill that makes you ready. So just imagine it, like, he was talking about vocational education and people who are actually working in the fields. What if the skills are not matching? Then will they be learner ready, or they will be like, okay, I don't want to learn this because I know my skills are not going to match. And then someone like already had said this, but that's like motivation. But it's something else, self-regulation, very important. Why? Because when I'm given the autonomy that, okay, I can study whenever I want to study, am I the kind of person who keeps on putting it off ki, okay, आज नहीं Saturday को देख लेंगे. Saturday, there's some wedding, something. Okay, I'll see it next time. And then that next doesn't just come. It's not that I'm not motivated. I'm just simply not self-regulated. And self-regulation is the basic dimension, I would say, when we start thinking about a MOOC or an autonomous learning. Now, how do this affect? So if the students are there, the students with low prior knowledge, and you start teaching them or they get enrolled in your course, that will lead them to become anxious. Well, if they are very highly ready, now this is again a very funny thing. If they are very high readiness and the course that we are teaching and the content that we are delivering is, meant for the average, like we do it in our normal classes, then they're going to be bored. Yeah, this was such a Papalu course. I don't want to complete it. There would be tech constraints that would break the hybrid learning, online learning, or whatever the kind of tech-enabled learning you're going to do. If there is a self-regulation ka difference, then the progress is going to be different and it's not going to be uniform. And low motivation, oh, it's going to be apathy. I'm sorry to give you such an example, but I can't help it. There are so many FDPs constantly happening everywhere. And many a times there are people who join in a particular FDP with a motivation of only certification, nothing beyond that. So the motivation is so low that there is apathy that, okay, whatever is happening, karna kya hai? You just open the Zoom meeting and you just sit there. There will be 5 questions at the end, and then that's done. And apathy, remember, is not like, no teacher likes it. And learners don't realize it, but it's actually a reflection of the motivation. So if we are going to deal with these 5 dimensions, which are the basis of learner readiness, then and only then, whatever things we are doing will actually make a difference. Are you all there with me on this? Then just an emoji would be very helpful. Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Arpita ji. Anyone else? Excellent points. Thank you, Nisha ji. Okay, so 2 women saying yes. I just need one more person saying yes, that we can go ahead, and you all agree with this, or you don't agree with this, then please feel free to argue. Okay. All right. Okay, 3 people suddenly. Okay. Okay. Fine. So what do we do then? We'll create a readiness survey, and you are going to create your own readiness survey. Now, survey, then you would, I know people would have thought in their minds, oh, come on, are you going to tell us to create a tool. We are all doctorates here and we have so much of experience. If not doctorates, at least enrolled in a doctoral program. We teach. So are you really going to teach us a readiness survey, how to create a tool? No. You are going to create, actually, yes, but we are going to do that for the entire plan. So what would be the steps? So the first step is you're going to choose one topic that you're actually going to teach, or you are actually in the process of teaching. You're actually teaching it that. The first topic that comes to your mind, just hold on to that hook, write it down, note it down. Okay. Then you're going to ask only 6 or 7 diagnostic questions. I'll show you an example, but just start thinking, because now I have made you ready, right? So it has to cover all 5 readiness dimensions that we spoke just now. So once again, the topic that you're teaching, hold on to the hook. That's the topic that you're going to use throughout. We are going to create a readiness survey based on 6 to 7 diagnostic questions, each leading to every single dimension of learner readiness that we just saw. Okay? Let's go ahead. This you're going to use before you start teaching. So if it's a MOOC, then it would be week 0. If it is actual teaching, like a offline class, it would be during the orientation program and every time before you start the next topic. If it is the same applies for flexible, for hybrid, blended, online, 1 week before the topic begins. That is how you're going to make it. And there are certain sample questions. So how confident do you feel about something? Okay, so now you're talking about the perception here. I know we're talking about the perception. The student might just say, oh, I don't know. Fine, I don't know. That means you're not confident. Okay. Ask very pointed question. Which subtopic is confusing? That means that they will have to go through the syllabus. And they would see that, acha, ye to samajh nahi aa raha kya hai, right? And then we'll ask, what do you prefer reading, or videos, or problem solving, or hands-on? What do you prefer for this? And of course, they have a reliable Wi-Fi, because we are talking about the tech access and skills dimension, right? Now, something like this, you're going to prepare. Take a minute and then we'll go ahead, because I have some questions. So this is the worksheet. You can take a photograph. You can take a photo or a screenshot or whatever. And this is how it will look like. So I'm showing you what I did, and I'm taking the example of my research methodology class that I take for master students. And how did I actually ask them in their readiness sheets? So this is what I had asked them. Of course, these are only few questions just to give you an idea that prior knowledge, do you know the core principles of research ethics? They would mark yes, no, how much. I had just created a small Google form and I had circulated it with, all check boxes. And then we collected. I prefer to learn through, examples or worksheets or videos or whatever. So I give my own kind of check boxes. You will give yours, whichever is suitable for your subject. So 2 minutes, I think you'll be able to just write at least one question there. By the time you write, I would ask the organizers, maybe Sarika or Dr. Poonam also, that is there any way in which like they are going to submit things or something like that? If yes, then this entire thing, let them create and let them submit.
Ma'am, I have one question. Can I ask?
Yes, please.
So, what do we ask for this self-regulation? What can be the other options for this?
Okay, so for
Regulation.
self-regulation, it could also be like, I prefer, okay, for self-regulation. So it's not about the tech preference, media preference nahi hai. So for self-regulation, I can sit for 2 hours and finish my work, even if I don't like it. I will be very regular to spare half an hour or 15 minutes every day to watch the video or to go through the reading material of this course, no
So
matter
that is
how busy I am.
most advisable. Should it be the open-ended question, or do we give some
Uh,
kind of choices here?
yeah, so you know your students the best. For the
Yeah.
self-regulation, if it is not about the media preference, then I prefer myself to keep it open-ended.
Okay. Okay.
But if you like, it depends on how you want to analyze, because in the next
Got it.
slide, we are seeing the analysis of that.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
So, even for motivation, confidence, or I mean, you'll have to frame your questions like, I do feel confident of switching on the Zoom. I mean, I can even have the smallest simple confidence limit, like, I'm sitting with my dongle here simply because I'm not confident that अरे इधर का किधर का कुछ अगर हो गया तो इंटरनेट गया तो I want my session to go on. So I'm not confident about it, so I'm sitting with this. So I'm ready, right? Because I'm not confident, I'm ready. So I know that this is there. So this is how we make the students also ready. And I'll show you what results came in and how we did the analysis. So can a couple of people tell us that they are done with at least 2 to 3 questions? Sarika, what have you shared? Acha, the drive. Okay, okay.
This is a drive link which I have shared
Yeah,
for
yeah.
uploading the worksheets, right? You
5
wanted
minutes more, I need 5 minutes more.
You submit
Uh-huh.
afterwards, no
Yeah,
problem. Yeah.
So this is a drive link where they can submit.
Yeah.
I've shared the same with you.
So can we like move ahead to just get an idea of how this works so that you will be better off framing the questions?
Sure.
Okay. So when I did this particular thing with my students, what happened was then, of course, for the open-ended questions, I had this kind of a rubric. So then I would like have the indicator as, when I said that, see, I'm sitting with the dongle because I'm not confident at all that it will go ahead. That means my indicator would have been low, right? So I would mark that as low. It's as simple as that. So once you do the rubric and all, once I did the rubric and all, so this is what my analysis showed me. So this is a master's class, believe me. So this is a very small group who was confident on the principles of ethics. And then what do you find the hardest is when I ask them, they just see the data. And they did not actually know what is, I mean, the consent. The consent is like, मतलब ऐसे बिठा के पूछने का is, or just take the signature, but then what if it is online? And what about the photos? And what about this? And what about that? That is how I actually figured out the pain point. And then this was very like, I had not thought, I'll be very honest. When I did this, I thought they will tell me that they wanted more of application tasks. But when they actually gave me the readiness survey, I was like, okay, they want more of examples. Okay, and only 18% wanted like challenging application-based tasks. So now, if it would have been a normal class or normal this, then unfortunately we go by the majority. And majority may win, but it's not always right. So yeah, I know some people are smiling when I said this sentence, but yeah, that's true. Majority wins, but may not always be right. So this kind of thing actually tells us now what do I need to do with my LCM component. So I hope this is helpful for you now, and you may desire to have like 2 or 3 questions, maybe just 2 or 3 just now during the session, and then we can you can take time to upload your sheets later. Yeah. Thank you, Divya. Thank you, Nishit. So just for 2 minutes, you're teaching, so you know your class very well. So you can actually think about the questions. And in fact, you can also think about what your class could give you the answer. Now, when I said that I was very surprised, I was surprised because this is this class that I'm showing you the sample is first year's master students. And I had thought that they know, they have done it in their graduation. But what I realized over time after talking to them that there are some, and they come from various places. Okay, so they're not only our students who come to us, right? Master students. So many of them had, I won't say misinformation or something, but it's like, okay, that means we have to write a 200-page thesis. And I was like, no, you don't have to write a 200-page thesis. You don't have to do that. That's not what is research. So, like lots of things, but because of this readiness survey, I was able to understand that, okay, every time I will have to give them lots of examples, and that too very concrete examples. And like we said in the earlier one, you remember those icons, those 5 icons, what flexibility is. In that and in the other way, just in the previous one, that what happens if, the prior knowledge is less, the students become anxious. But what happens if the readiness is very high, they'll get bored. So I do have 18% people who are like full on ready to do the application. Now, if I go on explaining things to them, they are going to be bored. My 52% people who want concrete examples and who cannot actually, you know, analyze abstract things, they are going to be like overwhelmed. So then what is the point in creating that 45 minutes class? It's not going to be like no outcome is going to come from here, right? Okay. Oh, that's all right. You don't have to worry about the upload. You just create the sheet with you, and then later you can upload. Uploading is not a tension. It's just one. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah. You don't have to actually upload just now because we have lots of things to do. Okay, so now because people are saying that we cannot upload, that means I'm assuming that you people have done this. Like 3 questions at least are ready for the learner readiness from your topic. At least 3 questions for the learner readiness survey. Okay. Okay, so proceeding ahead now. Hey, I want at least one emoji.
Yes,
Where
ma'am.
you can
Yeah,
with the videos off. Yeah. All right. No, because this is like a workshop, right? So, and why are the videos off anyway? So, I hope it's not the organizers who have told you to. So now, mentally, just think about how your class is going to be grouped. Mine was grouped like this: high support, moderately ready, and highly ready. Does your class look like this? Please group your class. You can also have this kind of tick box, and this is useful for every single topic that you go ahead, because you're going to take a learner readiness survey for every topic that you take. That I have a lot of A-type students. I have a balanced mix, mostly B and C. Now, why do we need to do this with every single topic and not just once? Okay, most of you who have taken the Swayam or any other MOOC, you do have entry level test. That's like right in the beginning, pre-entry survey. Okay, that's not readiness survey. Readiness survey means because every single time you're taking a new topic, the readiness aspect for that would be different. Like, for example, if it is a finance related thing, so I'm just giving you uh, very generic examples so that it is relatable to everyone. Suppose if it's a finance and economics and all that kind of a subject, and it's like you're teaching about how the economy works and everything, and suddenly you start talking about the gig economy and the economy where so many countries are offering, digital nomad visas. And suddenly some people would be like highly motivated. But when you were talking about the world trade and all that, they were not motivated at all. They were like, "Yeah, that's okay." But that's how I'm trying to tell you that for every single topic, the learner readiness is going to be different. So we cannot take it only once right in the beginning. Now, once this is done, we have our model. That is the 3 pathway model, because what we are going to say is we are going to have 3 pathways. Remember the last emoji that was shown in the what does flexibility mean? That we need to have multiple paths. So my people who are having low readiness, I will never call them as low ready. I will say that these are the ones who are going to follow the foundation path. Okay? Please do not label the students. We are not labeling the students. This is for us to be able to give them a flexible, personalized learning path, not categorizing students. Okay, let me make it very, very clear. We are not categorizing students. We are creating flexible learning, personalized learning paths. So the ones would be foundation level, low readiness. Medium readiness would be something middle. So it would be the core, because most of the students will fall into that category, maybe. Or rather, if I were to say, most of our syllabus is based on that core. Okay, so we call it as core competency. Medium readiness. And then highly motivated, yeah, advanced. It's just for us, okay, to create the pathways. So then what did we do? So then my instructional strategies are going to be different, because here I might need step-by-step guided notes. I might need simplified explanation. So I might give them 3 to 5 minute videos where they will learn something and then immediately put it to practice. I'll have to give them like examples. I'll have to give them a worksheet, a workbook, maybe sometimes a vocabulary sheet as well. If the topic is very, very new, it just makes sense to have a vocabulary sheet, that what are the terms and terminologies that are going to come. This becomes very helpful, especially when we are talking of multidisciplinary minors and multidisciplinary majors. Because if a person from, let us say, fine arts is going to take up economics as his minor, and then you're going to talk about all the terms in economics. My God, how is that even going to be there? So it's better to have a vocabulary sheet created, and we can have very low stakes practice quiz. Now, when I say low stakes, it means we have to design something that will not give them a chance to copy, which will not motivate them to copy. In other words, think of the crossword. That's like my favorite. Because why crossword is my favorite is for the simple thing, since my grandparents, every single day there is one crossword in the newspaper, and people will sit and solve that crossword through the day. Okay, but they'll scratch their brain, they'll rattle their brain. But just imagine to run a crossword puzzle. The newspapers, all the newspapers have crosswords, and all the newspapers run crosswords daily. And still everyone is like hooked onto it and everyone is doing it. It's low stake. No one is going to copy. They might ask, "अरे यार ये word को क्या बोलते हैं?" But in that process, they will learn what is it called. But if it is just an MCQ, what's the answer of this? Oh, no, that's not learning. So have some low stakes practice type of a thing. Uh, Even a quiz, but not like a quiz, but like something like a jumbled word, crossword, something like that. Low stakes. Okay. And then maybe assisted discussion where there is a mentor or there is a peer mentor who is having the discussion in the small group. This this would be useful. These are a few ones. So in my workbook, what I will do is if I have this, then I'll tick mark what I'm going to use. So my right hand side will become like this. That, okay, what is the content that I'm going to provide? What is the activity that I'm going to do, and what is the assessment that I'm going to do? What is my instructional strategy? So if I'm going to teach about atoms and molecules, then I will probably give them some diagrams. I'll give them a 3 minute video to explain about, or an animation to explain about how an atom is not a molecule and vice versa, and some funny fact and some trivia. And then there would be an activity where I could just give them some random elements and tell them to whether it will form an atom or it will form a molecule or just remain an atom. So just something like that. Okay, so this right hand side would be ready for my low readiness students, learners. And my instructional strategy also would be tick marked. So I hope you are taking the photograph of this. Then I can go ahead. Right? Yeah, thank you. So then comes the core part, the intermediate or moderate readiness. I mean, honestly speaking, this is the most scariest place as a teacher to have learners there because they are like moderate. मोटिवेशन कब ऊपर जाएगा पता नहीं, कब नीचे जाएगा पता नहीं. ओके, प्रायर नॉलेज इतना भी पुअर नहीं है कि स्लो जाए और इतना भी अच्छा नहीं है कि सब उन पे छोड़ दो. Maximum people lie in this, and that is why this is one of the most crucial ones. And so here we will need to have slightly different kind of instructional strategies where I can actually be able to monitor more that when is my readiness level going up and down and more of engagement happens, like a think pair share or any other collaborative learning practice that I want to have. I can have cases and caselets. I can have problem solving. I can have short explainer videos or something like that, or even a short explanation in the class. That's also fine. And again, the same thing, this design part is same. It remains same in all the three groups. So what content am I going to provide? What is the activity that I'm going to do? And what is the assessment that I'm going to do? So now I'm taking a pause. See, we started with the topic. So you are going to, like, you have hooked on to the topic that you are teaching. You created a readiness survey. On the basis of that, you have, let's say, three major parts we can say that we normally can have in the class. So one who will be low ready, what would be the instructional strategies? What content would you teach them? Or rather, I don't want to say what content would you teach them. What content would they learn at that time? Here also same. If they're moderately ready, what content will be provided? What would be the activity? What would be the assessment? What instructional strategy would we apply? They're different, right? Yeah. It's exactly like the tomato sauce. It's different. And then the extended pathway for students who are exhibiting high readiness. Now here it would be mini project, peer teaching, critical review, some creative output, something like that. And then again, the same thing, the design is the same. What content to provide, what activity, what assessment. And now if we see, the goal here is like to challenge the students and to give them more autonomy. So just imagine, we say that, okay, I am going to like, all the students one by one will present something. Oh my God, in a low readiness category student, what will that bacha present when they are not themselves ready to learn next? But a person who's like ready, oh, there's always a person in the class who will say that, oh, yes, I know about this. Can I tell? Can I tell? Okay, so make him the peer teacher. Come and teach what you know. So that's how we actually classify the strategies as well. It cannot be one strategy for everyone, right? So what happened is, before I adopted this learner centricity, it could have been just a 45 minutes lecture. I would have given principles of research ethics, and then I would have spoken about plagiarism, and then I would have spoken about consent because that was the key area that was a problem. That remember the sample analysis that I had shown, and then I would have given a case discussion. Oh, done. 45 minutes mein ho gaya. But then, honestly, that would not have led to anything. But now just see what happens. Now I have group A, I have group B, and I have group C. And then group A, I gave them 5 mini examples, a handout. And the task for them was read it, identify which principle, research ethics ka principle is violated, and write only one sentence per example. So that is that group that is sitting there. Not one group, multiple groups. So my examples are going to be different. That's all. But the task is same, right? So what about the moderate ones? So there, I might give them a lecture for 5 principles, and then some real incidents like what you call as case studies, and then there will be actual question and answer discussion there. But what would be the output here? I would write to them, I would tell them that you're supposed to write 3 things that you understand better now. And here, just see what it was. Each principle, how it was violated, or only one sentence about it. And then in the group C, oh, these ones needed more challenge. So I gave them a case, 1-page case. Analyze all the ethical issues and submit a 3-bullet solution. Now just see, they are learning research ethics. All of them are going to learn research ethics. My course outcome or my learning outcome is going to be reached, going to be achieved. Only thing, the path is going to be different. And the way in which I will assess is going to be different. Am I making sense? Is this making sense? Is this like anyone wants to share their views about this? Oh my God, there is a huge big message there. Okay. Okay, Deepika, I will read your message afterwards. It's very big. Yeah. And thank you for sharing that message though. So anyone wants to share their opinion after seeing this?
May I, ma'am?
Yes, please.
You know, this kind of model definitely has left me awed because I had never ever thought about teaching in this manner. Though in theories we have learned, that how you need to identify your learners and then you need to design your tests or whatever topic that you're planning. But this has completely opened up a new world to me for teaching or looking at my class where I teach or whatever little things I do with them. So definitely a great perspective, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I hope you can implement it in the class. There
Yes,
are
definitely
5
I will try
policies.
this, ma'am.
Yes, I knew this question, Arpita ji. I knew this will come. I need to understand how to implement this in a 60-student class and every class. It's a very effective approach. Like the idea, all students cannot be put in the same basket. Yes. Believe me, we have done this in a 60-student class. Everyone nowadays has got 60, 80, 100 students class, but it works great. Okay. Um, I will stop sharing the screen for a moment because I want to actually talk like this. So now you found that group A, group B, group C, there are 3 categories. Now, when I say group A, I would have probably 5 people, 5 groups that belong to group A. And each group might have, let's say, 4 to 5 students. So that makes it like 25 students there. So I will have, like I said, my group A students like 5 groups here. Okay, so they're going to do something different. All I need to do is I'll have to give them some different examples. Then I might have again similar 25 students in group B. So that's like, I'm not going to make them sit together. I'll just make them like groups who will sit together in like groups of 4 or 5. And again, the lecture will be common because the lecture is, in the sense, the 5 minutes ka video that I'm going to give them is going to be common. But then the example that I have given them will be again different, and the case study would be different. Also, I'm going to take it up next that how long does this whole activity take? It's not going to take more than 20 minutes. And it doesn't take more than 20 minutes. Because why only 20 minutes is because I'll tell you, the only thing that we need to do is, like I said, learner readiness. So we have to also share what we are doing with the class. So the practice that I always follow is, see, tomorrow we are going to do this. And for the next week, we are going to follow this pattern only. So come prepared. And that I will be like informing them at least 1 or 2 days prior. So informing students is one very important thing. So that readiness, they also start becoming ready. Okay, jana hai, ye karna hai. Mind, okay, so I don't know how to put it. I'm not a psychologist, but to keep your mind calm, the mind needs structure. Okay, that's a very easy way. See, you get up every day, you do the same routine thing, you come to college, you attend the class, you go home. That's the routine that you're going to follow. For us, yes, we are going to come to college, we're going to teach, we're going to do our admin work, we go to college, we go back. Imagine now the vacation days. Especially try to remember when we were students and we had just given our board exams. Now, or even the university exams for that matter, नेक्स्ट एडमिशन हुई नहीं है, इसका रिजल्ट लगा नहीं है. We are so used to studying, we are so used to structure. And because I teach science, my students used to tell me, oh my God, all entrance exams are over. And now I don't know what to do. Because it has been a habit that every single day, morning 6 o'clock, I'm going to pick up my competitive exam book and I'm going to start studying. Now suddenly, even if it is 15 days ka gap, I don't know what to do with these 15 days. So same way, if the students already know that this is going to be the structure of my class, they will be ready and it wouldn't be like aaj kya naya hai. Like we don't want them to feel as if it's like a magician, matlab wo hat mein se kabutar nikalta na. We are not doing that, right? So it's not that. What it is we're making them ready. So we are going to use this strategy. We are going to do this. Because I saw what answers you gave, I am teaching this in a different way based on your answers. So now it's you who have chosen this path and you will learn according to your path. Believe me, when NEP came and when NEP started saying that we have to give the voice to the learners, I was like so happy and so glad because it is very funny and very sad both. Who decides the syllabus? We. Okay? We who have already studied, who are already having a job. We decide the syllabus according to what our generation thinks that students should learn. Who approves the syllabus? Again, hum log hi. But who's actually going to be impacted by the syllabus? The students. The students have no say in the syllabus. Unfortunate. We need to have them in our academic councils and our board of studies as well. But at least we can have them to design our own classes. At least let them learn how they want to learn, right? I created a conceptual map for my subject covering the entire syllabus in a flow chart. Arpita is saying something. And students would connect to what they're learning next. Yes, this is a very nice idea. So, you can put it up in your class and then you can say that, okay, this topic ka ye readiness survey ho gaya hai. So I'm going to follow this particular type and you can go ahead with that. That's a very nice thing that in fact it would be visual also. And then you can actually have that how many groups were, I mean, we wouldn't call them as low ready, moderate ready. That is only for us. So we might give them some different names which have got no connection. Some flowers ka naam, kuch iska naam, kuch uska naam, something you will give. And then that key is with you. So you also will have that data. You also will have something to write for your innovative practice when you're going to fill up all the things for your NAC, right? Now it makes more sense, isn't it? When the moment I start talking about NAC and innovative teaching and teaching learning criteria too, yeah. Now, people are going to laugh. Yes. We all know, we all are in the same boat, how much we slog for all these things. So let's get back to this. So it's not only one group. This group A are, like I said, learners. So that's one cohort. Okay. Now with this, if we go ahead, I also forgot what is there ahead. So now is our job to synthesize the class. Because now we will have one key takeaway from every group, every cohort, which is very different. Now just think about this. When we give students one topic and we ask them to present, I have seen this, many teachers do this. I hope you're not that, but still, it's the same topic. भले वो group presentation है, भले उसके अंदर का aspect हम अलग अलग, like you classify. Now there is a gadbad in this also. So I am teaching a big topic, and what I do is I just distribute the subtopics into 5-6 groups, and that's how the whole thing is covered. Some teachers do that. But then the person or the group who has prepared that one topic will be expert in that particular subtopic. And the others probably are more concerned about their own presentation. So they are not going to be attentive that much. And they're not going to ask questions. Come on, let's be honest. If I know that I'm going to be presenting next, will I listen to what that person is saying? And will I actually learn, or I will be like, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. It happens in all the conferences as well. When I know that I'm going to be presenting next, I'm actually seeing that, and I'm also saying that, okay, so this question is asked. That means I need to frame my paper में when I will explain, मेरे को ये explain करना पड़ेगा. That's a different learning that we are talking about. But here, same topic, everyone comes up with a very completely different thing. Why? Because here, like we said earlier, like just one example you have to give. Here, they're going to talk about some principle that they have clarified. And the third group, which is like the advanced group, kind of advanced learners. I don't want to call them as advanced learners. I don't want to say anything about that. So the third group would give a solution. So some people are like now the whole class knows a few examples that they have not studied. The whole class knows about some principle that got clarified, and the whole class knows about a solution now. And this is something because everyone had studied the same thing. Everyone is studying about research ethics. Everyone is studying about consent. Everyone is studying about plagiarism. But then uske andar ka finer tunes, finer nuances are coming out. And then we as faculty will synthesize all the three groups ka learning into one cohesive understanding. Now, the first part that we did, when it was a group activity, that takes around, say, 20 minutes. Or in fact, not 20, when it can be like 10 to 15 minutes also. This part takes 20 minutes, the convergence, because you're giving every group a chance to share. And then this whole class activity that will take another 10 minutes. So this everyone will answer individually, which principle will be the most challenging one in your future research. And you're not going to discuss that. And then if at all you just want to have some fun and some movement, you can ask them to place themselves on a spectrum of low to high. I don't know whether we can do it in all the classes or not, but I make my students move around quite a bit because I take it in the ICT class, ICT lab. So there's a lot of place to move. And then we can have a quick peer discussion, but they can use this as the exit ticket, which is going to be actually my readiness quotient for my next class. What is that one ethical mistake you will now avoid in your work? That is also my outcome is achieved. हो गया भाई मेरा LO achievement I can now map, and that is also my base for my next time. So now my whole of this thing goes into my innovative teaching strategy, and I have also given you the name 3 pathway model. So everything normally, if for the first time maybe it may take you 1 hour, but otherwise it gets over in 40 to 45 minutes, the whole of the thing. But yes, you will have to take the readiness survey, should be taken like 2 to 3 days prior because you need to know the analysis. So normally what I do is I take the readiness survey 1 week prior. So I will take it today, let us say. For if I'm going to teach the next week, so today is the weekend, so I'll give बच्चों को chance कि Saturday तक भर देना. Monday, I'll start the analysis. Then Tuesday, I'll know what the analysis is. Then I'll start making the, the different content and activity and assessment. And uska next week, we will start doing this. So that is how my session plan, my year plan. And I'm not even saying that, okay, we need to do this for every single thing, but at least one topic. If we can do it this way, nothing like it. Believe me, the students love it. In fact, they love it so much that after this particular research methodology part, they loved it so much that they wanted to have more case studies. So we could actually see the movement of students from group A to group B, and from group A to group C as well, and group C students wanting to come to see what principles, unka principles mein kaun sa gadbad hai. So they wanted to do more and more. So believe me, I and my colleague conducted this workshop for, we had planned it for 1 week, but the students only told us that we want to have more. So we extended the research methodology workshop, which initially we had planned for 1 week to 15 days, 2 weeks. And I mean, we are so happy with the outcomes that they have given to us. So I can say that in a very complex subject like research methodology and research ethics, if this works, it will work very fine with something which is very core knowledge and very concrete. It will work. So just a little bit of practice, and that is why the templates are shared with you. I hope they help. So let me take a breather here, and you also take a breathing space and tell me if you have to ask anything here, because then we'll go ahead. Should I stop the screen share? Yeah. Any thoughts on this for whatever we have done so far? Yeah, you can unmute yourself and talk, no problem.
Ma'am, for how long you have been practicing this kind of readiness survey, and what is the success ratio that you've got so far?
Success ratio of what?
The readiness survey in the teaching methodology and in your classrooms.
I've been using it for more than 20 years. The only thing is I never named it as readiness survey. Only now, because we have to put it into innovative teaching practices and all that. These names are there, but yes, this I have been implementing for more than 15 years, I'll say. So the success rate is such, like I said, the students themselves told us that, okay, we want more. And believe me, after the first 3 days, we could actually see the shift. That is the first time, what was that, 40% students were like so scared of the word research. Okay. And now they're all like, okay, we know research is everywhere. When are we writing the paper? Give us the links of some conferences. Let us start doing that. Also, the next immediate thing what we could see is, because it is what they have chosen, right? And everyone's skills are different. So there were students who picked up the analysis part very quickly. So because we were actually mapping it as well. So some students who picked up the analysis part quickly, they would be like, okay, can we show this, how to do this on this using this particular software? And we would be like, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. You only take, like, it's, the peer teaching. So the student who was very skeptical that they do not know about research much, they are now saying that, oh, okay, let me make a questionnaire. But they're like, hey, this is not a questionnaire. This is a rating scale. And then there's another student who says that I will explain everyone how to use formula and how very nicely this particular quantitative analysis tool. I mean, we gave them one. That girl went ahead, and that group went ahead, and like explored more tools, and then they came back and they said the next day that, you know what, this is better in this tool, this is better in this tool, and we were like, okay, great, go ahead. And believe me, we did not take a class for more than 1.5 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but so it works. It works like that.
One last question, ma'am.
Yeah, sure.
Is there a paper or some research paper regarding this that you have mentioned today, which I can go and refer? Because it's an interesting topic that should be explored.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to give it later, but this is more like a practice that we are doing. It's not yet published as a paper, which we will be publishing soon. But I mean, I'm not aware. I'm very sure that so many people would have done this, but I have only tried to put it like a template. Uh, I just I just always feel that, you know, why I did this also, like why did I templatize? Because I can give you lots of just things like that. Ki, ye kar lo, wo kar lo, wo kar lo. But then how does a teacher translate it into the class? Again, everyone needs structure. Everyone's brain also needs some structure. Ki, okay, how do I do this? So a template is given to you, which of course is modifiable, and you can use it in your class the way you feel good. And please don't worry, because the moment you share it with the students that, see, I'm trying to make my instructional practices as per what you told me, and no, I'm not classifying you. They just simply love the whole idea.
True.
Okay, so trust me, it works. But for the reference papers, I'll try to give you some. I'll search, but I did not think about the reference papers here, right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So this is how we actually do this. I mean, this is something more. I have not done it always, but it is recommended that, you know, week one, may what are the foundational things and what are the core things and what are the extended group, may what we will put, and is there any movement of the groups? If we can put that as well, then it becomes easy to keep a record, nothing else. But honestly, I have not done this every time. But for the beginner, yes, if you have this for the 2 weeks, then it just becomes easy. It's like you're subscribed to it, then chalta rahega subscription aage. So now is your turn to DIY. So this is exactly what you would be doing for the topic that you have thought of, and your readiness survey is there. And then how would you actually have the three groups? And what would be the instructional strategies that you would use in the three groups is what the next 5 minutes I think we will spend on that, and then we will go ahead. Because the next thing, because this is an online part, so I don't think we can do this actually, but it would be great if you can discuss and review this with two people. When you go back to your universities, your colleges, once you do this, please try to discuss and review about the material, that does this make sense? Does this, can I make it better, kind of a thing. So this is what your DIY, and after that, if anyone is ready to share your readiness survey for the topic that you are teaching, we will give you the floor. We can do that, right, Sarika and Dr. Poonam?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So do you want me to keep the readiness survey wala slide here open, or you have taken the photographs and you're fine with it? Anyone who wishes to share once you're done, you're most welcome. Or any other doubts or any other thoughts that you think you want to ask, like
Ma'am, am I
yeah,
audible?
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually put it in chat earlier, but
Oh, I didn't see.
never mind. So I was just wondering, in design, we often have these very project-based kind of classes,
Mhm.
and I teach history, and
Okay, lovely.
a lot of the projects are outcome-based, but application of historical research, historical narrativization, those kind of things. So when we are assigning groups, I mean, there are, let's say, groups of six in which people are already working. How do we execute this? What you talked about, the readiness classification kind of.
Okay. So that's a very interesting and a different off take from here. So what we would do is, in the initial part, when the conceptual part is happening, we would do the activities as per the group classification. The groups that are like low ready, moderate ready, and advanced ready. And once the conceptual clarity
Right.
is there, after that you mix the groups in such a way that every group will have some people who are low ready, some who are moderately ready, and some, at least one who is advanced ready.
Right. Okay.
So you will have two steps.
Ah,
So,
okay.
for example, I'll just, because there was just the Constitution Day, we just celebrated. So I'm just taking that example. So suppose there are certain, what you can say is, okay, very simple way we'll go in. So hardly people, I mean, I don't want to say that hardly people might know, but yeah, so people, students might not be completely aware of how the IPC has now become Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. And it's the whole of changeover, and maybe how many centenary and tricentenary celebrations and why this year is important. They might know, they might not know, they might not know the basic amendments that have happened very recently, something like that. So now these are conceptual things. And can we talk about design of the Constitution? Because it's a live document. And so by design itself, it is live. So then how many people, how many learners are aware that it is a live document?
Right.
So that way we can identify the readiness, and then we can design the projects and then mix them.
Hmm.
Did that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah. It's a
Two-tier.
because two-tier thing. So yeah, right. I think yeah,
Or
we have to work
if
it
you
out.
already have, no, if you already have the groups are already made, then what you can do is even within the group, you will come to know that who is at low ready,
Who's work?
moderate ready, and
Yeah.
advanced, right?
Yeah.
Then the task that you give to the group would be a mix of these three.
Right. Certainly, the
This,
way of guiding, because the outcomes are typically standard. I mean, the same brief is given to each group, but
yes.
but
No,
certainly the
but see,
guidance
the
can be
brief
custom.
is common, but so the brief is common, the outcome is same. But what happens in between is the teaching learning
Yeah,
and
correct.
assessment. So
Yeah,
that can
that
be
can be
modified.
customized.
That has to be customized.
Sure.
That has to be personalized.
Right.
I would
It usually is, but I would never thought of it in such a structured manner. It
yeah.
usually is. The group comes and sits in front of me, and then I'm talking to each one of them, and then one person doesn't understand something. You talk to them through it, and all that happens. But
I'll just give you one example
yeah,
of this. I mean, if we visit Southeast Asian countries, now I know this sounds like an off track, but it's not actually an off track. So when we visit Southeast Asian countries, we can actually create the food that we want to eat. Like they will
yeah,
have noodles separate, veg noodles, egg noodles, flat noodles. They're all boiled and kept separate. Then
yeah,
like today, you don't want to have a heavy soup, you can have a light, clear soup. You can have vegetables more. You don't want to have mushrooms. Okay, don't add mushrooms. You want to add this, you want to add that. And in a
like a
jiffy,
little bar.
in a jiffy, it's mixed and given to you, right? So everything is modular. So if we are making our content modular, our activity modular, and our assessment modular, you can always mix and match things, and
Correct.
then it will become really learner centric. So that's the whole thing. So
Right.
I just thought about this thing.
Definitely.
You go to any Southeast Asian country and they will ask you, okay, what do you want to eat? And then you say, okay, I want this noodle, this particular, this sauce, this soup, add
Yeah.
these veggies, this. So, and it's completely personalized, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not Maggie.
No.
It's actually a meal.
Yeah. For me.
Yeah. So it's actually a meal of your own choice. So that's how we are supposed to look at our education also. Because if I'm delivering a 45 minutes class,
Yeah.
which is one size fits all, that means it's just something that you're given. So
Yeah.
it's not even a
It
buffet.
actually
It's
only
just a
fit one.
thali. And then a lot of things that you don't want, you either have to like leave them, leading to food wastage in this particular context, leading to wastage of energy, and leading to more apathy because I'm not interested in that, I will not learn it.
Correct.
So that is why we need to go modular, a buffet at least, so that people can pick and choose. So that's how I can look at it. Did I make sense to people? So that's again something. Okay. So should we go ahead? Okay. Thank you for all those And thank you for the very important questions there from both Nishit and Nisha. So once okay, there's something in the chat as well. Okay. Clearest version, yes. Oh, yes. So I'll have to see how I can put this in practice. Yes, everyone is going to do that. And let's just be sure that you have not made the foundation path too heavy or the extended path not challenging enough, and don't keep assessment same, don't keep the readiness survey too generic, and yeah, at least have 3 parts. You can have more, but at least 3. And yes, please keep the mechanics to yourself. Please do not say that you are low ready and you are highly ready and highly moderately motivated. Please, no. Students don't have to know this because we are not categorizing students. Like I said, we are creating personalized pathways depending upon the readiness of the student. It has got nothing to do with categorizing the students. So please keep the mechanics to yourself. And a learner-centered class looks exactly like this, where there is no one center. It's usually the teacher should be at the center. No, a learner-centered class will look like this, where it's completely decentralized. And that's the crux and that's the beauty of integrating this. You can integrate this whole LCM thing like we discussed in the offline class, in the online class. Just create, breakout rooms in the Zoom. Hybrid, mobile learning, whatever type of learning. But yes, it has to be flexible. It has to be personalized. So what are you going to redesign next semester using this particular part of using LCM? Think of that. You are already actually working on what you're going to do now. And thanks. And if you have any questions, you can reach to me via, Dr. Sarika has got my details. And of course, you can reach me out through my website as well. And I think we are on time. Yes.
Yes, Ajita.
Okay.
Thank you so much for a wonderful session.
Thank you for the lovely audience who asked questions and asked for clarifications. Thank you, Arpita ji. Okay, thank you, Nishit. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ajita, for this exceptionally enlightening and well-structured session. It's an honor to present you with a certificate of appreciation as a token of our sincere thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Arumugam ji. Yes, thank you. Yeah. And thank you, Dr. Poonam. Thank you, Dr. Sarika.
So that wraps up our FTP sessions. It's been an incredibly insightful and engaging experience, and we hope you found the sessions valuable. Very soon, we will move into our valedictory session, and we request all participants to kindly stay tuned. The feedback link for all sessions held today will be shared in the chat box during the valedictory.
Okay. Thank you. So, Sarika, should I leave now?
Rita, we would like if you have time to join us for the valedictory.
Okay, I'll join
Yes.
through phone.
Yes.
Okay. I'll join back using my phone because I'll be commuting.
Yes, yes, sure. Thank you so much, Ajita.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.